Alright, all you lovelies, thank you for coming to Cooking with Chef Link. We have a very special episode of Cooking with Chef Link lined up for today. We've done plenty of cooking in all sorts of different environments up to this point, but this will be the first time on live TV that we've done cooking with a robot that wants to kill us as our source of cooking. What you want to do after putting the death robot into a shock trap is you want to maneuver the Great Flame Blade not too close to it, because if it's too close to it, it will clip underneath the world, as we have clearly found out. Same as if you put the wood, your actual cooking source, a little too... Same as if you put the fire a little bit too close to it. But as is, something like this should be good enough for... The robot's not on fire. The robot's not on fire. Here we go. Now our cooking can properly begin. They say that there's no better way to cook meals than off of a giant death robot, and that is why we are doing that today. If you really want to impress your dinner guests this holiday season, then be sure to put together some raw gourmet meat and throw it on the fire to steam off of that death robot. And let me tell you, I promise you, lovelies, the flavor is gonna be like no other. I promise you this. If you really want to impress the guests this year, though, you can throw on some fish and even throw some fruit into the mix. It sounds like a combination that wouldn't really work, but when we're cooking in an environment like this, you'd be surprised at what recipes would just work. And just like that, we have roasted hardy bass. It's delicious. Let me tell you, your in-laws who you hate and hate you are gonna start loving you after you present them with this beautiful meal. And that is also why we are gonna throw together a nice fruit blend here for a nice dessert right at the end. The guests are gonna love that one. Get some roasted mighty bananas in there, maybe some roasted wild berries, and some baked apples. Throw that all into a mix, get a nice fruit salad going, and you have just created the perfect dessert, let me tell you. Which is why we are gonna prepare a decent bit more with some hardy durians and some palm fruit, just to give it a little bit more flavor at the end of the day. That roasted hardy durian is gonna really make the meal at the end. But now, let's go back to the main course, how about, is what we do. Let's go back to grabbing some meat here, if we can find it in our inventory, and let's get some raw bird drumsticks. If you don't have access to a turkey this year for Thanksgiving, oh no! If you don't have access to a turkey this year for Thanksgiving, or whatever holiday you want, then some roasted bird drumsticks will do fine enough. Just say that you ordered from KFC or something. Except this time around, it was roasted on a giant on-fire death robot, who might not be on fire anymore because that last bit of fire is gone for some reason. This might happen sometimes. Sometimes you need to account for this, which is why we always come prepared with 102 extra wood, just in case of situations like this, so that you can make sure that your death robot stays on fire at all times, through every step of the way, to make sure that the meat is really cooked through all the way, so you don't have to worry about any partial cooking. That is one of the concerns about cooking on a giant death robot, is if you're not careful and this is your first time cooking off of a death robot, you might not have your meat cooked through all the way, which is why it's important to be careful every step of the way and make sure that you are getting that pristine taste. It seems like that's all the use we're getting out of this death robot. I thank you for coming and enjoying Cooking with Chef Link.